Hello, this is Franz, the frustrated itinerant. Welcome back to my YouTube channel where I post videos about life in Japan every Saturday. So, if this kind of content tickles your fancy, please consider subscribing and clicking that notification bell. In today's video, I'm going to share the two different situations of teaching English here in Japan. Just a disclaimer, what I'm going to share is solely based on my experiences. Other Filipino English teachers here in Japan may have it in another way because ESID. Every situation is different. And before we start, I would like to thank all of those who watched my previous vlog about medical clinics in and nearby Osaka that have English-speaking doctors. If you will soon have a trip to Osaka and if worse comes to worse, you will feel sick, I highly suggest you watch that video so that you would know where to go in case that unfortunate event happens. But for now, let's get on to today's topic. So let's try to backtrack a little bit. I previously worked for an English conversation school in Osaka City. When we say English conversation schools, these are popularly known as eikaiwa schools here in Japan, whereas in the Philippines we call them ESL schools. Now, I work as an assistant language teacher at a public junior high school and elementary school in Osaka Prefecture. These are the two common English teaching jobs that we have here in the land of the rising sun. However, some English teachers, may they be Filipinos or other nationalities, some of them work as a lecturer at a university, others work at a kindergarten, some teach at an after-school care facility. However, I haven't worked in these learning institutions, so I cannot really talk about them. So, in this video, join me as I give you comparisons between working as an eikaiwa teacher versus working as an assistant language teacher. So, the first obvious difference is the students' ages. At the eikaiwa school, I had adult students most of the times, ranging from university students to the working class people. Some of them were even stay-at-home moms or stay-at-home dads. I'm not very sure. I rarely had 5-year-olds to senior high school students back at the eikaiwa school. But now, as an ALT, obviously, I have to deal with junior high school students and elementary school students. Second, let's talk about the students' level of interest when it comes to learning the English language. At the eikaiwa school, since I am dealing with adults, I believe they're more matured, so they really know the importance of learning the language, may it be for their jobs or for traveling abroad, and they're very responsive, 90% of them, because I had some kids who were not responsive because their parents made them go to the eikaiwa school. So that's the common thing at the eikaiwa school that I used to work for. Now, as the public school, at the junior high school most especially, I am met with unresponsive students for, I think, 3 common reasons. 1, they're simply shy to speak up. 2, they don't understand the language, of course. And 3rd, they don't see the importance of learning English because they live in Japan. And once they go to work in the future, they'll be using Japanese. So they're still too young to understand that the world is gradually expanding and the world is opening up borders for people to work globally. So I just hope that these students would somehow realize that they need to start early in making themselves globally competitive by learning the English language. Now let's go to the third one, which is about students' preferences. At the eikaiwa school, since students are the ones paying for their monthly school fees, they have this right to demand, request their teachers based on what plan they're paying for every month though. So yes, some students are very particular with the ethnic background of the teacher. They would really request for teachers coming from America, the UK, Australia, New Zealand, and other countries wherein English is the mother tongue. So Filipino English teachers might find it challenging at first. At the public high school, though, as an ALT, it's quite amazing how kids don't really give an F. They don't really care what nationality the teacher is, because I think if they see a foreigner, they would automatically think, English teacher. And this actually happened to me when I was at the elementary school on my very first day. I entered the school campus and some students were cleaning the school entrance, and when they saw me, they were whispering, and one girl actually approached me and asked, Atarashi Ego sensei? So she already knew that I was a new English teacher for this school year. So it's quite amusing how they think that if the person is not Japanese, there's a high chance that that person is an English teacher. Fourth, let's talk about the lesson flow. As an Eikaiwa teacher, I was given a guide on how to do the class, but I was also given the freedom to change things up a bit in order to fit the individual needs of the students. As an ALT, however, I can only suggest some activities that I think might be beneficial for the students, but I still need to get the approval of the Japanese English teacher if it's really good or not. And by that, it means I don't really have that freedom to do what I like to do in class because I need to work with a Japanese English teacher. And I just want to put it out here that I'm not saying that it's a bad thing to not have the freedom or the liberty to do what you want in class as an ALT, because personally I think it's good to always consult the Japanese English teacher regarding your plans in the class, because they are more knowledgeable as to the students' capabilities. Because imagine this, if you have this activity in mind and if you want to push through this plan, it might turn out to be very difficult for the students to understand. And if it's difficult for them, they will just give up easily and won't be participating. And I believe as a teacher, you wouldn't like unresponsive students. It's like you're talking to yourself or talking to the wall. So if you're planning on teaching English here in Japan and there are these two options, would you be an Eikaiwa teacher or would you be an ALT? Try to continue watching this video because I will give you more comparisons before you come up with the decision. Because yeah, both have pros and cons. It's up to you which one you're more comfortable with. And let's go on to my next comparison. Fifth, let's talk about the work ethics here in Japan. It's not really like very specific. These again are based on my experiences. And first, as an Eikaiwa teacher, the Japanese work ethics wasn't so rigid. Did I say it right? Rigid. It wasn't so like strict because most of the times I was working with my co-teachers who were foreigners, and of course they come from different backgrounds, so they were quite laid back. And if we go to the ALT, of course you need to conform to the written and unwritten rules of Japan work ethics. So it's really, how do I say, as a first time ALT, it's somehow challenging for me. And to be honest, sometimes I feel choked when I'm at the school because I really need to be at my proper behavior because I'm dealing with Japanese coworkers and students. So there are some cultural differences that we need to respect when we become ALT teachers. 6, let's talk about the attire. As an Eikaiwa teacher, we were allowed to wear casual clothes as long as they were not very revealing. And as an ALT, of course, we need to also conform to the formalities of, the environment. So I had to wear long sleeves. On my first day, I had to wear a suit. It was very, unusual for me because in the Philippines I don't do that, and here in Japan during my first few years as an Eikaiwa teacher, we were not asked to wear suit and tie at work. So it was a big adjustment for me, but I think you can somehow imagine the differences. So here, this is the one that I used to wear back as an Eikaiwa teacher, and this one here was what I wore during my first day. So yes, I prefer the Eikaiwa one. It's quite relaxing, but it's not appropriate. So yeah. And of course, as I would like to remind you, or just to give you a heads up, when you become an ALT, you will see that Japanese teachers are very casual with what they wear. Some would even wear shorts because they're PE teachers, or some would just wear a hoodie. But as an outsider, as a foreigner, you are not supposed to follow them. That's one of the unwritten rules. And if you want to know some other unwritten rules here in, Japanese work ethics, comment down below so that I can compile and share them in a different vlog. Seventh, I'm going to talk about the downtime. As an Eikaiwa teacher, if you watch my previous vlog, if I have some vacant slots or vacant hours, I can either choose to have a break, which is unpaid, or do a task for a smaller amount of rate. So yes, and if the student cancels, I can go home instead or do something else. At the public school as an ALT, I have a lot of downtime. I have no classes to do. I'll just be at the teacher's room or be productive by doing something else related to English or making worksheets. And sometimes, when I'm really done with everything that I want to do for the next day's classes or the next week's classes, I don't have anything else to do. So I feel sleepy, but I really have to do something because it's not good to be sleeping at work while the other teachers are busy doing something. And of course, I cannot do some administrative task because I'm just an assistant English teacher there and I don't really know the ropes of the job as a public school teacher in Japan. So yes, both scenarios have downtimes. It's just that as an Eikaiwa teacher, I can have a say on what I can do. Shall I go home? Shall I stay at work? So yes, but as an ALT, even if I have downtime, I still need to be there until the end of my shift. Now I'm down to the last part, and I believe some people are very interested to know the salary difference between an Eikaiwa teacher and an ALT. So in my case, if you watched my previous vlog about how much I was earning as an Eikaiwa teacher here in Japan versus as an ESL teacher in the Philippines, you would know that my salary back then was unfixed. Every month it was always changing based on the number of lessons that I was getting. So yes, and now let's try to compare. As an Eikaiwa teacher, again, I was getting unfixed salary. Every day, no, not every day, every month it was always changing. But as an ALT, I had a fixed basic monthly pay, which was quite nice, financially speaking. However, for the first month of getting my first pay as an ALT, I was somehow questioning if I made the right move to shift from an Eikaiwa teacher to an ALT because it was quite small, but the company already informed us. They already gave us a heads up that the first pay that we will be getting would be somehow lesser than what we are expecting because of some tax adjustments or some adjustments when it comes to the pension payment and other government mandated payables. But for my second month, somehow I was quite assured that I made a good decision when it comes to the salary because it's really fixed, and for the month of working while waiting for the next payday, I won't be terrified about how much I'll be getting. Because to be honest, at the Kaiwa school, since I was getting paid based on the number of lessons, I was quite mentally stressed, thinking if I would be earning enough money to survive the next month's how do I say expenses. So somehow now I feel relaxed, like okay, I'm just waiting for the next payday and it's gonna be the same or somehow same pay, which is quite comfortable for me to live for another month, living life paycheck to paycheck. So yes, that's the big difference. If you want to be an ALT, there's like a fixed basic pay and some better benefits as compared to a Kaiwa school, just based on my experiences. Other Kaiwa schools in Japan offer fixed basic pay to their teachers, but unfortunately for me, it wasn't. But still, no regrets. I loved that Kaiwa school that I used to work for. So there you have it. Those are the 8 comparisons that I can give you as an Kaiwa teacher versus an ALT. So again, if you're interested in becoming an English teacher here in Japan, and if you have 2 options, become an ALT or become an Kaiwa, I've given you the comparisons. Form your decision from those ideas. Some of my friends said that I already had a nice job as an Kaiwa teacher, and they even asked me why I decided to be a public school teacher as an ALT. Well, as I've mentioned a while ago, I was looking for a fixed basic pay every month, plus a new working environment and new challenges, because for approximately 8 years, I've been teaching English as an ESL or a Kaiwa teacher, and I wanted to somehow challenge myself. And indeed, I met a lot of challenges as I transitioned from an Kaiwa teacher to an ALT. And in my upcoming vlog, I'll be talking about the different challenges I faced as an ALT. So do stick out and watch out for that video, which I will soon be uploading in my YouTube channel. So there you have it. If you found this video helpful and informative, show this video some love by liking and sharing it to your friends. Also, please subscribe to this channel and click that notification bell so that you won't miss out every time I upload a new video. If you are interested in visiting Japan soon, when the pandemic is over, click this video to know how I was able to get a Japan tourist visa. And if you're looking long term and you want to become an international student here in Japan, this video here will tell you how I was able to get a Japan student visa. So watch them in your free time. Thanks for watching. Bye!